What is your American dream?
My American dream is that, we have peace and equality for all. That we stop this border walls. Don't build walls, build bridges, as the Pope says. And I go along with what he says. That we open the doors to America, not just to special people.
I'm pursuing my dream that I've always had since I was a child and never could, which is to be a full-time musician. So I am living my dream.
I have my American dream. My father came here with $35 in his pocket. He died a millionaire, so that was my American dream.
My American dream.
Take the lotto.
My American dream is to bring Little Italy back to what it was and to continue doing what we're doing.
I feel like my American dream is to be able to make art that represents all of America, not just the white middle to upper class America, so that people can see themselves represented and can see themselves as American and feel like everyone has a place here.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome, everybody. It is July 30th. My name is Brad Bernstein. I am being joined somewhere in this world in Apartment A by Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias, and somewhere across the river, not across a rainbow, but across a river, Vanessa, Ness-quick Contreras, looking fine today. Ness-quick with the new hairdo. Look at us.
We look kind of coordinated, friend.
I like it.
Yo-Yo's wearing black. You have a darker suit on. Look at you.
Well,
look, we didn't even do this on purpose.
Yes, we did. Don't lie. You finally sent the memo to me that we all were going to color coordinate. No, that's not true at all. Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias, how are you?
Can you?
Oh, I muted myself. Can you guys hear me now? You could hear me now. He's playing with me, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I said
hear you.
I feel like this is the best we've all looked. We look very cohesive.
Oh. Wait, now we can't hear Brad.
I'm only kidding, Yo-Yo. I was just getting you back.
Oh.
Is it Friday?
Yo-Yo was like, what's going on? What button did I press wrong now? I was fine. I heard you the whole entire time, actually. And yes, we are looking fine as a crew. Yes. We are looking fine as a crew. What do you think we say hello to the squad as well? Marge Higgs saying, hey! Princess Tenko, hey squad. Dion Watson, squad up. Joan Grant, how are you? Latoya Laddie, squad up to everybody. Jessica Kalimi, Joel Reed, how are you? Marge Higgs and Christy Kinsali, Marcia Watson, I see you watching. Chris Cabral saying hi everybody. Tamika Jarrett James, squad up. I guess Chris will get into the squad up soon. And Tamika Nelson saying hello. And Chris, by the way, who's new into the comments, says we are all looking good, guys. And Christy Kinsali, Latoya Laddie, how are you as well? Squad up to everybody. Tracy Lacey on YouTube. Peter Mimba, as soon as we came on with a question, says, hey, my wife filed for me I-130. Her earnings last year was $32K. Mine was $45K. We're only two, but USCIS asked me to find a joint sponsor. What do you think was the problem? Well, if it's only two and your wife earned $32,000, maybe you're looking at her gross and not her net, because $32,000 is fine. I don't know what the problem is, unless you're looking at the wrong number. Lara Beauty, how are you? Monk, how are you? Davis Campos, Tia Prasad, Karen McCarthy, Karen Vincent. Rohan Kamiar, and Tia Persaud, all saying squad up. Yonathan, Yo-Yo, Elias, Vanessa. Contreras. Why don't you go do... We lost Vanessa and Yonathan.
I'm here.
We have Yonathan. Yonathan, why don't you get Vanessa on the phone? I don't know.
I know, right?
Yeah, watch it. Yeah, the phone seems to work all the time. That's all that seems to work in the studio. Why don't you tell everybody what they need to do while I get ready for some schmoozing?
Absolutely. All right, guys. Everybody on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, whatever you're watching on, I need you guys all to please join the VIP fan page, all right? This is so easy. All you have to do is Bradshaw Live, put Bradshaw Live in the search engine and on Facebook, and you can join the Facebook Squad Facebook VIP fan page, okay? What you get with that is the number one incentive is you can put in your question anytime throughout the day, all right? So you can put in your question, the first 5 that we get on that day, we will ask it during social media check-in just for you, all right? Now, everybody on Facebook, sharing is caring. Very easy to share. All you have to do is click the little arrow, share it to anyone's page. You can share it to an inbox. You can share it to groups. If you know about groups that are cultural, you know about groups that have immigrants, you know about groups that might have people who have questions pertaining to immigration, please send it to those groups. Let's search for these groups if you can. If you, I'm sure we have a lot of people from all over the world on this platform that we watch on, and I know you guys know about different groups that you guys are in. There's millions of groups on Facebook, so guys, just find some groups, share it in there, let them know what the show is about. You guys hear that?
Yes, Ness-quick must be at the beach. Ness-quick, what's going on with you?
I'm having a little...
You have a what?
Well, come back to me. All right, so remember, put all your questions and comments in the comment section as well on Facebook. Please like, love, smiley face, sad face, wow face, mad face, whatever you're feeling. Make sure you show that love on Facebook. And now on YouTube, first things first, what I need you all to do is please thumbs up. All right, turn that little gray thumb blue. It's so easy. It's so cinchy. That's how we used to say it. It's cinchy. All you have to do is click that little thumb. It turns it blue. It gives us a lot. It helps us out. It helps with the algorithm. It shows us that you actually care about what we're doing. All right. And also, it's so easy to share that as well. All you have to do is click share. There's a little arrow as well that shares to any of your social media platforms. But most importantly, all you have to do is copy the link and send it in a text message blast. Have friends and family that you guys will send this out to every day. Copy the link, share it to them. You could also post it on any of your social media platforms. Of course, put all your questions in the comment section because remember, we will not get to all of the questions that we get.
Excuse me, Yo-Yo, I have a PSA announcement. Vanessa seems to be okay. Let her finish up.
I'm back.
There you go.
Let her earn her due.
I'm back. I got so scared. So like Yo-Yo was saying, guys, make sure that you give us those thumbs up. We really need it. You know how much we appreciate it. And we can spread our word out even further. And make sure that you catch us also on Instagram at Bradshaw Live. You should be following us there to see the best snippets of our show. And every now and again, you'll catch a contest. But you need to be a follower on there in order to participate in that. And without further ado and no more technical difficulties, let's get to schmoozing with Brad.
All right. So, here's some good news and bad news. A federal judge yesterday blocked the Trump administration from requiring people to file that I-944, where if you took government benefits, it's 2 strikes against you, and you have to show you're employed and you're an employable person. And the reason why the judge did it, I'm going to quote Judge Daniels. He wrote the decision here in federal court in Manhattan. He said the policy fails to measure up to the gravity of the global pandemic that continues to threaten the lives and economic well-being of America's residents. Really what he's saying is it's really unfair to tell somebody who's an American citizen or a lawful permanent resident that they have to not get medical care. God forbid they get sick with coronavirus, or God forbid they accept food stamps because they're not working right now, because 1/3 of America is unemployed, and we have more than 1,000 people dying of coronavirus every day. But you know what? You got to choose between getting medical care and or filing for your family. I mean, and by the way, those decisions are made every day on this show, right? We hear those questions all the time. I always tell people, you want your family, you got to get off. Try to get off, but obviously don't starve to death. And the judge actually is recognizing this. And he says that's really extraordinarily unfair to make somebody decide whether or not they're sick with coronavirus, but you know what? They shouldn't go to the hospital because they don't have health insurance. You know what? I lost my job because if they get Medicaid, now all of a sudden their spouse's adjustment application's denied. All right, think about the choices that people have to make here. Okay?
Those are not choices that you should have to make.
Correct. You know what? I lost my job. Wasn't my fault. I was working in the same job for 20 years. I lost it. Why? Because the business was closed down. Why was the business closed down? Not because we were a bad business, because the governor of my state told us to close our business down. And now I have no job. And as a result, I got to put food on the table. Maybe I need to get food vouchers, WIC. But you know what? If I do, my spouse doesn't get a green card. My parent doesn't get a green card. When you think about the choices that people have to make, this judge makes a lot of sense. Now, in January, the Supreme Court ruled that the Trump administration can go forward with the I-944, but that was pre-pandemic. All right? So, we don't know what's going to happen. Tomorrow, if you filed an adjustment application, I am sure USCIS is going to return it and say, where's your I-944 form? However, over time, they either have to start accepting applications without the 944, or probably what's going to happen is Trump's going to appeal this and everything will stay the same. But at least it's a short-term victory for people who feel, again, Trump is really overdoing it. Why is he overdoing it? Because he don't care about nobody but himself. And he's saying to himself, if I don't get reelected again, I've done a lot of dirty stuff here. This is my opinion. I really believe he thinks he's going to go to jail. Like, the Democrats are going to investigate the hell out of him, and they're going to find stuff on him. Okay? Right. So he's saying, I got to pull every dirty trick I know, every racist, civil rights violationist trick I know to get people up in arms. That's right. That's exactly how he feels every moment of his life. Right? That face.
Look at that picture.
That's exactly how he feels, because he has less than 100 days. And by the way, he is now tweeting that he believes that the election is not going to be fair in November, and as a result, it should be postponed.
No.
Yes. Yes. Now he suggested postponing the November presidential election because we're going to have too many mail-in votes, and it's going to be up for fraud. So until coronavirus is gone, I should remain president. There should be no election. And you know what's interesting about all of that?
Great.
I'm not that I'm saying he's Adolf Hitler or Mussolini or anything, because he's not, but Hitler and Mussolini came to power in a fair election, and then they just never left. Think about it, right? It's not like Hitler or Mussolini, was the general in the army and overthrew Germany and started World War II. And it wasn't like Mussolini was the general in the Italian army and came in. They were duly elected by a democratic nation, and then they just never left office. They never left, and they became a dictator. And then ultimately, obviously, both fascists, and obviously were anti-Semites and anti-minority, and caused World War II and the Holocaust and enormous suffering. But they were both elected. And here is
Sounds
Donald Trump, and
similar.
here's Donald Trump saying maybe we should postpone the election. You know, he's not
Maybe
Adolf
we
Hitler.
shouldn't.
He's not Adolf Hitler, so I wouldn't compare that. I wouldn't even make that comparison because Adolf Hitler, killed 6 million people plus started a world war. But we're not there with Trump yet. But hey,
I'm about to say, what's crazy is the only difference is the numbers, really, because he kind of did start a race war, and he did kind of kill off millions of people or hundreds of thousands of people
with coronavirus. Yeah, well, I mean, if you blame him for all the deaths of coronavirus, yes.
Well, he blames the Chinese.
But I think, the Holocaust was intentional extermination of human beings. So we're not. There's really no comparison between the two.
Absolutely.
But nevertheless, in a series of tweets, Trump said, universal mail-in voting would make November's vote the most inaccurate and fraudulent election in history, a great embarrassment to the USA. He wants to postpone it. However, every person other than Donald Trump, including people in the Republican Party, say there is no evidence at this moment that the election is going to be so fraudulent that it should be postponed. Republican Lindsey Graham, who is a big Trump supporter, says, where I share the president's concern about fraud in elections that use mail ballots as the primary source of voting, I do not support delaying the November election. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who is the head Republican in the Senate, said, never in the history of the country, through wars, depression, and the Civil War, have we ever not had a federally scheduled election on time. We'll find a way to do it.
Yeah.
And Majority Whip Senator John Thune, a member of the Republican leadership in the House of Representatives, told CNN that, I think that's probably a statement that gets some press attention, but I doubt any traction. There is nobody who is going to delay that. I mean, because once you start delaying, that's what leads to fascism and everything else. Now, when I read, who I think it's Kenny Rogers. I don't know. Maybe I'm asking the two wrong people about Kenny Rogers. You know who Kenny Rogers is?
The singer?
The singer, right? I mean, you both are well versed in Kenny Rogers' complete, musical
discography.
Catalog. His musical catalog. But I believe in the immortal words of Kenny Rogers. But it is not Kenny Rogers. It is the Eagles. Excuse me. I thought it was Kenny Rogers. Jill is saying it's the Eagles. What do I know?
Good thing you have that great.
But in the immortal word of the Eagles, when I read it, I just thought of the song Desperado. Because he is. But I thought it was Kenny Rogers who sang it. But it is actually the Eagles. But that's what I read. It's like he's desperate now because he sees. Coronavirus isn't going away, and the economy's not coming back. It is Kenny Rogers. Joe screwed up in my ear. She said I was right all along. It is Kenny Rogers. I know my Kenny Rogers music catalog. I'm telling you.
How did you know that?
But she said the Eagles did it too, so we were both right. So, but Kenny Rogers did sing Desperado. I just remember him singing that in some movie somewhere, and I believe that he is Kenny Rogers' Desperado at this point. He's 10, 12, 14 points down in the polls. All the swing states are leaning towards Biden right now. It looks like if the election were to happen today, that the Democrats would actually win the Senate as well. And he is looking. Yeah. He is looking for a wedge issue, okay? So the wedge issue he has right now is immigrants, minorities, law and order, and he's basically clumping everybody who's protesting, a great majority of the protesters. I don't know the exact percentage, 90, 95%, 98%, 99%, I don't know, but way up there are all non-violent civil rights protesters. There's a few looters and stuff, but he's lumping everybody together. And as a result of that, he's trying to do a law and order thing, scare whites look what's going to happen. All of these protesters are all lumped together. They're anarchists. They all want to overthrow the government. And because coronavirus isn't going away, so he ain't going to win on coronavirus. He's not winning on the economy, okay? Not when the economic statistics came out today that if the last quarter was spread out over 1 year, the United States economy shrunk by 32%. So, but they do these economic statistics over a 1 year period. So, for example, you have to understand when they said the economy is down 32%, it's not really down 32%. I guess the best analysis would be like this. You know what? This is what I do. Every day when I see the ice cream truck outside of 225 Broadway, there's a $6 ice cream cone. So I say to myself, I can get the $6 ice cream cone and gain weight and get fat, or I can save the $6. I can save the $6 in my pocket. And then I start adding up. $6 times 7. That's $42. That's $42 in ice cream a week times 52.
Week, yeah.
Okay, now, you know what? I'm not going to get fat, and I'm going to save $2,000. So that's how they do the economic statistics, you know? They do it based on what it would have been over 1 year. So if this last quarter continued over 1 year, it would have ongoing over 1 year, like me saving $6 per ice cream cone. It would have been, you know, down 32% for the year. So it's a little misleading, but still, a lot of people out of jobs.
But what do you gentlemen think, squad? I feel like for November we might have a system sorted out in place, but then again, when you think about it, it's like the way the booths are set up. Like, are you disinfecting the booths after every voter? Like, it's a whole thing.
I think there's going to be a lot of people who do vote-in, who do mail-in votes. A lot of the mail-in votes are going to be in the swing states and the Democratic states. Trump is going to claim all of those states, they're fraudulent, and he's going to stay in the White House and demand recount after recount after recount, claim that Biden won is not an authentic win, it's a fraudulent win. And ultimately,
he's not going to be happy
unless Biden wins by a landslide. You know, if it's going to be a close election, that's what's going to happen. I'm actually scared about what's going to happen. I'm actually scared about it. Meanwhile,
in an election year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Meanwhile, civil rights leader John Lewis was laid to rest in Atlanta, the city he represented in Congress for more than 3 decades. Every living president came to pay their respects but one, the Orange Man. Former President Jimmy Carter wrote a letter that was read at the funeral. He wasn't able to come, I think, because of, you know, he's up there in age. But former Presidents George W. Bush, Bill Clinton shared personal memories of working alongside Representative Lewis in Washington. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi at times fought back tears as she compared Lewis to former President Abraham Lincoln and said there was a double rainbow in the sky on the last day his casket was inside the U.S. Capitol. Former President Obama delivered the eulogy and said Lewis was an American whose faith was tested again and again. He said, I know this is a celebration of John's life. There are some who might say we shouldn't dwell on such things, but that's why I'm talking about it. Now, citing the Supreme Court weakening the Voting Rights Act, Obama says, you want to honor John? Let's honor him by revitalizing the law that he was willing to die for. Obama called for several voting changes, including that every American automatically be registered to vote. That would make sense. Adding polling places, expanding early voting, making Election Day a national holiday. Do you know why the Republicans win? Because they limit voter turnout. Because they know that if every American voted, only about a third of Americans would actually vote Republican. So the reason why Democrats lose is because Democrats don't get out the vote, and it's because either people don't want to go vote or they're blocked from voting because of difficult roadblocks that are put in front of them, including not being able to take a day off from work, including not having polling places near where they are, including not being able to do a mail-in vote and risk their life and having to wait online in states that are not doing mail-in votes. You know, making all sorts of application and requirements to actually be able to vote. It should just be you're here. You should get a voting card. Period. End of story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Meanwhile, global and U.S. coronavirus statistics, according to Johns Hopkins University, there's now over 17 million coronavirus cases worldwide. Yesterday, coronavirus deaths in the United States surpassed 150,000 people. The U.S. has the most cases, with nearly 4.5 million people infected with coronavirus. 21 states are in the red zone, and they should impose more restrictions to help control the virus. 150,000 people dead, including yesterday, unfortunately, Herman Cain, former presidential hopeful, who was once considered by Trump for the Federal Reserve. He attended Trump's rally in Tulsa. He did not wear a mask. Right after he went to Trump's rally in Tulsa without a mask, he came down with coronavirus. He was in the hospital for 1 month, and unfortunately, he died yesterday. Now, Cain had recently joined Newsmax TV and was set to launch a weekly show. Newsmax is a highly influential in conservative circles, and Trump had a close relationship with Newsmax founder Christopher Rudy. I don't know if that's why he went to the Tulsa rally, because he was starting his new show. He was on a conservative station. He had to show support for Trump. He had to show that I'm going to the rally without wearing a mask. And by the way, he had stage 3 cancer. I forgot which cancer it was, but he had stage 3 cancer. So he should never have been there in the first place. Not at his age, with cancer, without a mask. The only thing I could guess is that he was just trying to support Trump at his rally and say, you see, I don't have to wear a mask. Look how happy I am. But in the end, that rally killed him, most likely.
Right.
Most likely killed him. Yo, you got to put your mic back on. And that rally most likely
My mic is
killed him.
on.
Okay, now it is. So, what do you guys think?
I mean, you know, he was talking a lot of stuff on Corona and talking about how it wasn't, you know, that real, or how there wasn't going to be a second wave, and how you didn't have to wear masks. So it's unfortunate, because, you know, regardless of anyone's belief, he's still a human being. So I would not wish any. This is not a time to drag him, even though I did not, you know, like what he would say, and, you know, I definitely didn't follow his beliefs. But this was preventable. Wear a freaking mask, guys.
And by the way, he was a pretty rich dude. He was the CEO of Godfather Pizza. And so he was a very wealthy guy. I don't know the extent of whether he was worth 100 million or $1 billion or whatever he was worth, but he was worth a lot of money. He didn't need to die. He could have lived a very happy life with his money. He didn't need to be there.
And it's like, when we were reviewing that rally, we said it, like, you know, who knows all the different cases, the things that could have spread. And it's like, look, weeks later, you know, results, as well as, like, I don't know, health issues. Just so crazy. People need to take care of themselves right now more than ever.
Yeah. Now, Dr. Fauci, the nation's top infectious disease expert, he's now saying not only should we be wearing masks, but everyone should be actually wearing goggles or something to cover your eyes. Fauci addressed when people should get tested if they believe they've been exposed to COVID. He says, I might go a day or so early because of the incubation period. So he's thinking the incubation period is about 6 to 9 days. So he's saying you should, if you think that you got infected with COVID, you should go be tested around day 5 is a good time to be tested, right before you would show the symptoms, because the symptoms would start showing between 6 and 9. They tell everybody that you have to go a full 14 days of quarantine if you think you were infected. And he's saying the best way not to get infected, a mask, and now goggles as well.
Wow.
He says, you know, you can wear one of those face masks or goggles because the
shields.
Because the virus could enter through your eyes You know, there's holes all over your face, ears, eyes, nose, mouth.
Pores.
Yeah.
So are you gonna start wearing goggles?
You'll see tomorrow.
That's what we got to do.
You'll see tomorrow. I'm gonna wear earmuffs too. Earmuffs, goggles, face mask.
Hot out there.
Earmuffs. And gloves. Don't forget your gloves, Brad.
Yes. By the way, you know what today is? You know what today is?
It's Thursday.
It is Wacky World News Thursday.
I love this ride.
That's right. There we are, traveling the world without any face masks, in the open.
Or earmuffs or goggles.
No earmuffs, no goggles, nothing. We are doing everything wrong that Dr. Fauci told us to do.
We just talked about this, Steve. We
gotta change our plane now. We gotta sell that plane and get a different plane that would be more appropriate.
Goggles.
We have to put plane goggles on, exactly. Meanwhile, you know what also today is besides Wacky World News Thursday? Today is International Friendship Day. So happy International Friendship Day, not only to Yo-Yo and Vanessa, the whole crew, but the entire squad. International Friendship Day, it's observed every year on July 30th. And it went into being on April 27, 2011. The General Assembly of the United Nations declared July 30th is International Friendship Day. So, all our love to all our friends. Meanwhile,
so close to the first of the month where our rent is due.
Meanwhile, a serial record breaker. What did you say, Yo-Yo?
I said, you caught that, Ness-quick?
Yeah, well, Yo-Yo's mic is so loud that I can't even hear what he says anymore because it's too loud.
Making sure you guys are friends, Brad. He just wants to make sure you guys are really friends.
I was saying it's so close to the first of the month where rent is due, you know? So like International Friends Day.
That's right.
Do some friendly things, you know?
So
But
funny.
you know what's amazing is it's also payday tomorrow. So congratulations, you can pay the rent. All right. So meanwhile, a serial record breaker armed himself with a machete and chopped through 50 watermelons placed on his friend's head in 60 seconds. This guy can chop 50 watermelons in 60 seconds. We can't even get through 9 immigration questions in 60 seconds. Rishta Furman, whose Guinness World Record-breaking career has included more than 600 different titles, chopped through 50 watermelons placed on Hamagdi Baptista's head in Malaysia. The number was enough for Furman to capture another world record. Would you allow this man?
No.
What happens if he slips? Watch out! Oh,
Did they eat
what
his
happens?
watermelon?
Can you imagine if he slipped and then he's like, "Oh, I got 50 watermelons and my best friend's head," because that's what would happen.
How fast he slices through that?
Yeah,
that would go right through your skull.
That would go through your skull. Or what about this guy's hand?
Oh hell no!
Yeah, you know what? Malaysia.
That looks like so much fun.
Malaysia is a negligence lawyer's dream. If they only had negligence law in Malaysia, we would clean up there. I've been telling most.
And then you wasting all those watermelons.
Cases left and right.
Exactly.
Cases left and right.
Most would be like, Brad, we got another head severed from a watermelon Guinness record book.
No, see, not good.
The lines would be ringing, Brad. The lines would be ringing.
Exactly. Meanwhile, in where did this happen? In Cornwall, Ontario, Canada, a driver accidentally stole a complete stranger's car. Didn't realize it for 2 weeks and has been driving around. She went to the Walmart supermarket, and this woman came out of the Walmart supermarket and found that her black Nissan Sentra was missing. Now, the unwitting motorist then got into an unlocked car, pressed the keyless start button, and drove off, oblivious to the fact that it was a completely different vehicle to her own rental car. So it was 2 different rental cars that were next to each other, I guess. Now, cars with button ignitions can be operated as long as the key fob is located inside the car, which in this case it was. So not long afterwards, a black Nissan Infiniti, which had been parked in the same lot, was reported stolen. The car's owner had been shopping in Walmart before realizing his vehicle had vanished. In a lengthy Facebook post, the Cornwall Community Police Service warned motorists to never leave their key fobs in the car. So the woman drove around and used the black car for her regular everyday activities and only realized something was wrong after returning to the rental company to return the car. And the rental company said, "This ain't our car."
That's wild.
But I'm
Can
confused
you imagine
because
what a dingbat this is?
what?
What a dingbat.
Like, but how does the car turn on if the swap?
They left.
this doesn't actually-
The person left the keys in the car, basically.
Oh.
All right. So the debacle began when the woman rented a black Nissan Sentra from a company in Cornwall, Ontario. She then drove to a Walmart supermarket before coming back to find what she thought was her car, but she took somebody else's car.
Wow.
That's basically what happened. Meanwhile, a potentially
Pros and cons of push start.
Yes. Meanwhile, a potentially dangerous and invasive wild species of raccoon dog, normally found in East Asia, is roaming the countryside in none other than the United Kingdom. In 2019, the Mirror Online reported that a village in Nottinghamshire was under siege and absolutely mad from the raccoon dog. The local police said at the time that the dogs were potentially dangerous after villagers spent 2 hours chasing off those snarling and hissing creatures. Can you imagine this raccoon dog? It's not it's half raccoon, half dog.
No.
Yes.
That's just one thing I don't do.
Yeah, you don't do raccoon dogs. The animal is regarded as an invasive species that is native to China, but apparently everything is leaving China now, including raccoon dogs, coronavirus, bubonic plague, you name it. It starts in China and makes its way around the world.
Raccoon dogs? That's crazy.
Yeah. Meanwhile, did you hear about the couple that was living in an island for 29 years that they built for themselves? Catherine King and Wayne Adams live on the sustainable floating compound. It's called Freedom Cove. Freedom Cove is a 25-minute boat ride from the closest town, and the island weighs 1 million pounds and is the size of 2 city lots. The compound has everything you can possibly think of and more: a dance floor, an art gallery, a candle factory, 4 greenhouses, 6 solar panels, and access to a small waterfall. The couple has even figured out their own waste management system. As artists, King and Adams have always drew inspiration from nature. As to why they built their own island, Adams says, "I was hoping to make a lot more money as an artist. We can never buy real estate, so we had to make our own." Now, after staying in a friend's cabin in Cypress Bay, a large storm blew wood onto the property. King and Adams gathered the wood and used it to build the bones of what would become their future home. They live on an island for 29 years that they built themselves. And finally, the Japanese baseball team Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks have come up with an imaginative replacement for fans: dancing robots. Before their most recent professional baseball game on Tuesday, more than 20 robots danced to the team's fight song on a podium in the otherwise empty stands. Some of the robots wore Hawks caps and waved flags supporting the teams. Now, 2 different robots, including SoftBank's humanoid robot Pepper, performed a choreographed dance that is usually done by the Hawks fans before the games in the 40,000-seat stadium. And let's check it out. Let's see the dance, the robot dance. We have a robot dance. There we go.
YMCA.
Is that what they're doing?
No, I don't know.
I thought they're doing the Macarena. I wasn't sure. Now, Fox Sports is doing something similar. The network will debut virtual fans in its live Major League Baseball broadcast. All right, and that is our wacky world news for the day. Yo-Yo and Vanessa, why don't you tell everybody what they need to do while I stretch and get ready for answering your immigration questions.
Absolutely. All right, guys, everybody on Facebook, you already know what time it is. It's time to start your watch parties. Simple. All you have to do is click share. The little arrow says start your watch party or host a watch party, then start. It takes the video from our page to your page, sends a ding notification to your entire friends list. Start your watch parties, and please let us know in the comment section once you guys have. All right, I keep on saying this and I only see about 3 people that say it. I need you guys to let us know in the comment section saying that you have started your watch party. It's so easy. We just need you guys to do this. This will help Get the show out to your entire friends list, especially those that are online right now. Also, please put in all your questions in the comment section as well. Keep this interaction going because we love hearing what you guys have to think. And Ness-quick, what are we going to do on YouTube?
Okay, squad, like we said on YouTube, it is Friendship Day, guys, so let's be great friends and make sure that you subscribe to our channel, turn on the notification bell so you know when the Brad show is on, calling for the squad Monday through Friday. And also share, friends. This is the time for you to let your family and friends know. Copy the link, grab it from the share arrow and throw it into a text message, toss it into a direct message. Let people know that Brad is about to answer your immigration questions live and that they need to tune in. You never know who has the same question that one of our other viewers may ask, and you might help make that person's day a little bit better. And spread the word, friends. We're also on Instagram at Brad Show Live. Tune in for the best snippets of our show. And on there, friends, follow and like everything that's coming our way. And without further ado, it's time to get the answer to your immigration questions with
All right, let's go to Eddie in San Jose, California. Eddie, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Oh, nothing. I had a court 2015, and then finally gave me the charges, three charges.
Okay. Do you have a green card, Eddie?
Yeah. It's almost 10 years now.
What were you found guilty of? Just tell me what you were found guilty of.
The code number. Can I give you the code number?
How would I know what the penal code number from California when I'm in New York? I don't know the penal code even in New York off the top of my head. So just tell me what you were found guilty of.
I sold a cigarette to minor and I touched her also. And
you what? You touched a minor?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have it? All right. Was this a assault or a sexual abuse case?
In my paperwork it say child.
Where you from? Where you from?
From Iran.
You're from Iran, and you have a green card now?
Yeah, I have.
All right. So this is the deal. Okay. If you were found guilty of sexual abuse of a minor, it's an aggravated felony. Even if you pled guilty to a misdemeanor, you're gonna get deported.
No, it says the court. It says the misdemeanor, and it's not aggravated felony.
How do you know that? So why are you calling me if you already know all this?
I asked, asked a lawyer, and he searched for me, and he showed me the penal code 647A.
I don't know what that means. You're going to need a consultation. So hold on one second, all right?
Okay.
All right. I don't know what penal code 647A is. Let's go to Ahmad in Jamaica. Ahmad.
Yes, sir. My name is Ahmad. I have situation. My wife called herself and called 911, and police come in my house. They investigate and they take her hospital. They think she's a mental issue. But I applied for citizenship. She don't want to be a mixed citizen. So that's why she did that. So now she go to court and file for order protection against me. And court asked me, go to court, attend court after next month. So those affect in my city naturalization application?
Absolutely it will, because if you have an order of protection against you, you can't prove good moral character. So you have to go. So if in fact the truth is, and I don't know, if in fact the truth is your wife is hurting herself and you do nothing to her and everything, you're an angel, then you should, the judge will believe you and you won't have an order of protection against you. If the judge believes your wife, then you're not going to become a citizen. Not for 5 years from the time the order of protection is lifted.
So order of protection for 1 month?
Even if it's for a day. You can't prove good moral character. You are not a person of good moral character if there is an order of protection against you. And then what the law says is that you need 5 years good moral character to become a citizen. So as soon as there is a permanent order of protection against you, that is automatic, not good moral character. And then you have to wait 5 years from the time that order is lifted. All right. So if you need help, hold on 1 second. Wow, we got somebody who is accused of child molestation, and next one, orders of protection. Oh, Amir.
Yes, Brad. Hi. I found your address by chance, and since then I'm watching every other show. So I really like it, and God bless you guys. God bless your whole team.
Thank you.
Okay, I came to this country in 2010 as a student visa, on F1 student visa. Then I met my wife in 2013, and we got engaged after 6 months. Then we got married in 2014. So I got my green card in 2015, and I filed for I-751 in 2017 in September. So after that, and it's in 2018. I just had a fingerprint, nothing else. In 2018, the lawyer told me, like, you're eligible for citizenship. So I applied for citizenship in 2018 in October. So since then, I just had just only fingerprint for both. And my I-751 is waiting 34 months, and naturalization is waiting 21 months. And it's taking so long. It's very frustrating
Where
for
you
me.
from? Where you from?
Afghanistan. I'm from Afghanistan.
That's why. Well, that's why. But I would never have filed for citizenship until you got the conditions removed. I think at this point, you're waiting this long, you need to file a mandamus action. And you got to sue the government and force them to make
marriage is legit. We have 2 kids.
So yeah, you need to do a mandamus at this point. And if you need help, you come in and see me. You're in Queens. We're right across the river.
I would love to do that.
All right, hold on.
And also,
yes,
because I asked the congressman, and they're all. I asked them 2 times, and I did the inquiries. All that they say is that just.
You need a mandamus. You need a federal judge to force them to make a decision. 34 months on an I-751 and 22 months on citizenship is too long. All right, but hold on 1 second, all right? Let's go to Mamo in Silver Spring, Maryland. Mamo.
Hey, Brad. How are you? Good, Brad. I have a question.
And?
Hello?
Get it out, Mamo. I'm here listening.
Hey, Brad. How are you? I have a question. My wife, she brought me here, a year ago. I was just wondering when is the time that, I can file for, I think it's the I-751 or something.
Okay, so you have a 2-year green card right now?
Yeah, let me, I think I have the date. Okay. Yeah, it's going to expire.
When does it expire?
I think April 20. Couldn't find it. Yeah, it's gonna be April 2021.
April 2021. So you're gonna file 90 days before. So February, sometime in February or March, you're gonna file the I-751.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was looking for it. I couldn't find it.
What else can I help you with?
Yeah, also, and then, I have a question that, when I remove the condition, and then since, she bring me here, and then is that going to affect me, because, I get assistance from the government? Is that going to affect me when I do it?
Getting assistance from the government does not affect removing the conditions.
Okay. Even through going to the citizenship?
Even going to the citizenship. Now, if the government assistance is going to an address where you and your wife are not living together, that's a different story. But assuming it's going to where you're supposed to be living with your wife, then yeah, it's not a problem.
Yeah, we're living together.
Okay, okay, Mama. Where you from?
Ethiopia.
Ethiopia. All right, hold on 1 second. Let's go to Annette in Orange, New Jersey. Annette.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi. How are you doing, Brad?
Good, good.
Good evening to you and the crew.
Thank you.
Yes. So, I applied for the I-131 for my daughter. She has a I-485 application pending.
Right.
But I didn't do the I-131 with that.
That's okay.
But I did it recently, and she got the certificate.
Great.
Right. So what I'm asking, she was out of status for a period. Would that affect her returning to the U.S.?
You filed it, as long as she has a pending adjustment application, she goes for a short period of time, she can travel on the advanced parole even if she was out of status.
Please repeat that for me. I didn't hear you clearly.
As long as she has a pending adjustment of status application and she receives advanced parole, she can travel for short periods of time, 2, 3, 4 weeks, and return to the United States and will be allowed in despite being out of status at some point in time.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. One more question. I am a permanent resident. Can I file for my husband? He's out of status.
Yes, but once he would either have to do a provisional waiver to go home, or you would have to wait for you to become a citizen to adjust here.
Okay.
But the answer is yes, you can file then.
Alrighty.
All right.
Thank you much.
You're welcome.
Alrighty.
Let's go to Tessie in Newark. Tessie.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, Tessie. How are you?
I'm good. I have 2 questions for you.
Go ahead.
And kudos for the wonderful work and your team are doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, one of the questions is, I have a cousin who is married to a U.S. citizen. So the U.S. citizen, which happened to be the husband, actually went for filing of his tax return. They now added her as a dependent. So she's now asking, is it advisable for them to do it that way?
They're adding the wife on as a dependent. They're not doing it as a joint tax return.
They're doing a joint tax return, but the wife have no Social Security yet.
Oh, so no, you do it as a joint tax return. You don't add the wife on as a dependent. You do it as a joint tax return, and you attach a W-7 form to the 1040 return, and that wife would get a tax identification number, and that you can use to file your taxes.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Good luck.
Yeah. Okay. The second question is this: a friend also actually filed I-31 and I-48 since February 2020 up till now, no acknowledged receipt. She called USCIS and they asked her to do an online request. Up till now, still no response.
What did she file that she has no receipt for?
I-31, I-30, from I-30, change of status.
She did an adjustment, I-130, I-45?
Yeah.
Okay. How did she pay for it?
She paid with, she said she went to Walmart to pay with a money order.
Okay, so what she has to do is she has a receipt for the money order, go to the place where she bought the money order and see if that money order was cashed. And see who cashed the money order. If it was cashed by immigration, they will write the case number on the money order. If it was cashed by the lady who did the paperwork, then the papers were never filed and the lady stole her money. It's one or the other, I guess. All right?
Okay.
So if it was cashed by immigration, the case number would be on there. Then you can call back immigration and say, hey, what happened to case number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10?
Okay.
All right?
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much.
All right, let's go to Sandra in Queens. Sandra.
Hi, Brad.
How
Good
you doing?
evening.
How are you?
I'm okay. I would like to find out to see. I went in for my interview from February.
Right.
When I went in, they said they will give me an answer. Anyway, they sent a letter to me from the immigration, said I need a piece of divorce paper that my husband didn't bring in. It was his first divorce paper, I never have it. Then give me till the 27th of May to bring it in. Anyway, I sent it in more than 2 months now, and I don't hear back.
You gotta
from
wait. You
them.
gotta give them at least 4 months because of Corona. At least 4 or 5 months, unfortunately. Right now.
Okay.
So just hang in there. But if
Oh,
that was the only thing,
yeah.
I'm sure you'll get through.
Yeah, them say if I don't send it in at that time,
Right.
they will deny
you.
me.
Yeah, but you did it on time. You just got to give them 4 or 5
Yeah,
months.
I did it on time.
Yeah.
I sent it in
All right.
before the time.
So just hang in there, and I'm sure you'll get a decision shortly.
Okay, Brad.
All right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let's go to Ryan in Queens. Ryan.
Hey, Brad, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I just want to say really quick that you are doing a great job. I've been following you for a very long time. You have done a very, very great job, and thank you so much for your hard work.
I appreciate it.
I want to get through this because I know you have a really long list. A family member of mine is in the process of filing through brother and sister filing. Her priority date is March 2013. She just recently received her I-797
Father,
notice.
sister? What does father, sister mean?
No. Brother and sister.
Oh, brother
filing.
and sister. Okay. Okay.
Yep. So she received the I-797 notice, which this specific one states that the application has been approved, and now she's waiting for a visa application number.
Right.
The question that I do have is, how long will this process be?
When was the I-130 filed?
In 2013.
Okay. So the first thing you got to do is go to the visa bulletin. All right?
Yes.
So have you ever looked at a visa bulletin?
Yes, and right now I saw that they're in 2006.
That could be. Let's take a look right now. I'm going to look myself with you. Visa bulletin. I'm Googling it. And where is this woman who's waiting for the green card?
She's in the United States.
She's in the United States. All right. So and she's overstayed her visa, correct?
Correct.
All right. So a couple things. Yes, they are up to September 8th, 2006. You also have to look what's going on at the USCIS also. But she's not going to be eligible to adjust her status unless she's grandfathered in.
Okay.
Or she would be able to do a provisional waiver, which would mean go home and come back without getting stuck if she has a parent or a spouse here that's legal. But she's still 4, 5, 6 years away. Who knows what the law will be then?
So here's the other follow-up to that.
Okay.
Her mother lives here. She is a green card holder. We're planning to get her citizenship going. What's the process for that?
The mother, if she's single, the mother should file a visa petition for her now, even as a resident. Establish a date on the visa waiting list. If the mother becomes a citizen, you could always upgrade it, and she keeps her date on the waiting list. That may even be faster than waiting these 5, 6 years.
Okay. Awesome. And the very last question is, her daughter was filed along with the application at the time, but unfortunately she was not. She's over 18 when this notice of approval came in. I believe her daughter will not be on the application for them to approve her, but I could be wrong. Can you just fill me in on that? When her daughter filed with her daughter was underage. She was under 18.
You're talking about this. You're talking about this brother-sister petition.
Exactly.
Okay, so any child on a brother-sister application, any children are included up until 21. That's the basic law. Yeah. Then you get, in addition to that, what's something called the Child Status Protection Act, and there's a calculation that you get to add age on to the 21st birthday, so that child who is now an adult still gets to be included as a child on that petition. And the mathematical formula is you add to the child's 21st birthday the time it took for that I-130 to get approved. So, for example, in your particular case, you said that the I-130 was filed in 2013. You just recently got an approval notice, which means it took 6, 7 years to get approved. So you get to add that time period from the time it was filed to the time it was approved onto the child's 21st birthday. So in this case, it's 6 years. No, it's 5, 6 years, the time it took the I-130 to get approved. So that this child will have until sometime around the age 27 before they fall off this particular case. If the mother files, it may be a different story depending on how long that I-130 takes to get approved. And then
Okay.
you have to hope that the priority dates are reached and everyone applies for their green card within 1 year of being able to do so before that 27th birthday or 26th or whatever that calculation may be.
All right. Definitely appreciate your explanation, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Definitely appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Shireen in Lithona, Georgia. Shireen.
This is she.
Okay.
Hi, Brad.
How are you, Shireen?
I'm doing good. I'm good.
What's going on?
Okay, I have two questions. First one is, my son, he came here when he was 1. I got my citizenship when he was about 10, 11, but I did not file for a certificate for him because I didn't know.
Did he have a green card? Did he have a green card when you became a citizen?
Yes, he had his green card. He came here with a green card.
And then you became a citizen when he was 11. You became a citizen when he was 11 and he lived with you?
Yes.
Okay, how old is he now? How old is he now?
He is 25 now.
Okay, he's a citizen. Don't worry about it. He can still do it now.
Yeah, because I have his passport.
He's been a
citizen. American passport.
Yeah, he's been a citizen since
the problem
2000.
Is,
since he's been 11. What's the problem?
Yeah, the problem is he lost his social security number. I went to the social security office to get it, and they are telling me that he is not in the system.
Correct, because you only got him a U.S. passport. You never filed for the certificate of citizenship. So you need to file an N-600.
N-600.
Yes.
Okay. So he could not get his social security card.
He should be able to get it just because he is a U.S. citizen. So what you would bring
yes,
down?
I have a copy of it.
You would bring his passport. You'd bring down the social security card and proof that he's a citizen, which is he had a green card. Where's that old green card?
Yeah, I have the old green card.
And the old green card and his passport, and he's a citizen. I would bring all of that documentation: the old green card, the passport, everything. The copy of the social.
I did it, and they are telling me
I don't know. Well, if he's got to be in the system.
Yes.
So if there's a problem, then you maybe have a consultation with me. I don't know what else to tell you at this point, but we'll figure it out. So hold on 1 second, all right?
Okay.
All right. Let's go to Laura in San Bernardino, California. Laura.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I just want to say thank you for all you're doing.
My pleasure.
We really appreciate you. I have this question. Okay, so I'm in deportation, and I have my master hearing coming up August of 2020. So I have this 16-month-old baby. Is there a way I can get out of deportation?
I don't know. How long have you been in the United States?
8 years.
Well, and you're out of status right now?
Yes.
And how did you come to the United States?
Yeah, I had a visa.
Okay. If you are in removal proceedings for deportation, there's 3 general groups of people who would be able to win their deportation case. The first group would be if you've been here for more than 10 years and you can show hardship to your family, but you haven't been here for 10 years. That would be cancellation or removal. Another way would be I'm immediately eligible for my green card. You would be immediately eligible for my green card if you're married to a U.S. citizen, perhaps. You're an abused spouse of a U.S. citizen. Maybe there's other ways that you may be eligible for a green card. I don't know. I would have to have a consultation with you. That's another way to beat the deportation. And the third way to beat the deportation is my life's in danger if I go home, which could be any combination of asylum, withholding of removal, convention against torture, something about you're going to be hurt if you go home. Those are your 3 groups of types of cases that would win. So having a 16-month-old child and only being here 8 years, unfortunately, doesn't do much for you. I don't know what country you're from, whether there's any danger if you go home.
Nigeria.
Okay. I don't know if you have the ability to get married to somebody, but you certainly, in a bona fide marriage, obviously, but you're certainly going to need help. So hold on 1 second. We're not going to solve your problem here on the show, but you could have a consultation. Let's go to Antonio in Westchester County, New York. Antonio. Antonio.
Yes, sir.
How are you? You got to lower me
I'm
in the
good.
background.
How are you?
Lower me in the background, please.
Okay, sir. Do you hear me now?
Yes, we're good now. What's going on?
Okay. So I have a question. I met my wife in 2000. I came here in 2016 November, and I met my wife in 2018, and we got married in 2019. So we live together right now like more than 1 year. But when she moved, we lived together like after 9 months. She became a different person. When I met her, I never know if she smoked, and I asked her everything. She said no, she not smoke. And when we live together, her brothers, they all the time come to home when I go to work. They smoke at house. So I tell her, hey, listen, when I come home all the time, I smell marijuana at home. I'm not smoke, and you say you not smoke. Who am smoke at home? She say her brother all the time. I say, hey, listen, we live together. You have to tell your brother. I'm not going to tell them.
What is your question, Antonio?
The question is, she was very aggressive and she smoked marijuana at home and his brother, and I tell her to tell them to stop.
What is the what is the question? You're unhappy she's doing drugs in your house? She's abusing you? She physically hurt you? Okay, all right. Being unhappy, unfortunately, doesn't grant anybody a green card. There's no such thing as unhappiness application. All right. So you have, if you're in a marriage that's not working out, and I say this all the time, there's three possibilities. Possibility number one is you stick it out. You learn to be happy with her. You figure it out. You both compromise somehow. She agrees. If it's really the brother, she agrees. You know what? Brother's not coming over to smoke anymore. Doesn't the brother have his own house? Why can't the brother smoke in his own house? Why does he have to come and smoke up your house? That makes no sense. Okay, but you figure it out. All right. Number two, if you can't work it out, you leave the marriage, get divorced, and fall in love with somebody who doesn't smoke and whose brother doesn't come and crap your house up. Or number three, if there is abuse, if she physically abuses you, there's extreme emotional abuse.
She punches me all the time,
She
but
punches you.
I tell her I'm going to call the police for her.
So then call the police.
And she tell me
Then call the police.
If I call the police for her, she's not going to make nothing with me, and she's going to do everything, and I'm going to get...
But she's not.
And I'm gonna get deported.
But she's not doing. She's not doing anything with you anyway. Okay. The police are there in this situation with domestic violence, whether it's woman on man, man on woman, doesn't matter. The police are there to protect you. You call the police on her. In that situation, she would get arrested. If you're injured as a result of domestic violence, you have a VAWA case. You'd file on your own. You don't need her. Why would you stay there and take abuse?
Because I'm telling her when I'm gonna call the police, they're not gonna believe you.
Then do it.
If you do it, you're gonna get deported. I'm not gonna do nothing with you.
That's not true. None of that's true. Okay, hold on one second. Let's go to Kay in Los Angeles. Kay.
Hi, Brian. How are you doing, sir?
How are you?
I'm fine, sir. I've been everything up. So, please, I have a question, please. So I had a friend, he got from interview like 2018.
What happened in 2018? I didn't understand.
Okay. I said I have a friend, so he went for interview.
You went for an interview in 2018, okay.
Yeah, I think it was started for 2018. And he got approved on 130, but the I-185 is not approved. So like this year, January, so the UCI intends to revoke the approval that was sent.
Why?
He got married before this present marriage.
He got married before what?
He got married before.
Before what?
They said he should prove, he has a prior marriage. this marriage.
He was married to 2 women at the same time. He got married to woman number 2 before the divorce from woman number 1 was done.
Not the same time. He got divorced before he married his present wife.
So what's the problem?
The UCI is going back to the previous marriage that he should prove the marriage that is a bona fide marriage. So that's why they want to revoke this approval.
What they're saying is that this is his second go around with immigration, and in the first marriage they believe was not a real marriage.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know. Listen, you got to prove this is the thing with marriage fraud. Okay.
Yeah.
If they have evidence that there's marriage fraud, they're going to say you can never get a green card for the rest of your life because you committed marriage fraud. What's marriage fraud? Marriage fraud is when you file an application for something, and say you love this woman when you don't. When this woman says she loves you and you don't. It's a marriage of convenience. It's a marriage of I just got married to get a green card. Whether that's I decided to marry my friend. Whether that's I paid somebody to get married to me. Whether this person's doing me a favor. All of that's marriage fraud. None of that's love. So when you do something that is something other than love, that's when they accuse you of marriage fraud. And as a result, you are barred from getting a green card for the rest of your life. Now, let me finish. Yeah. Let me just finish everything because this is good for everybody to know. All right. So how does government figure out whether there's marriage fraud or not marriage fraud? They give you an interview. And what are they interviewing you? Do you live together in the same household? Do you have a financial relationship? Do you know about each other? Do you know each other's, middle names? Do you know how many locks are on the front door? Do you know what your husband's mother's name is? When was the last time you saw your husband's mother? We can go on and on and on. Do you have a relationship? That's how they determine it because there's no tool that says love meter. There's no such thing as a love meter. So in this first marriage, there was obviously evidence. There's obviously evidence to show that you couldn't prove you lived together or have a financial relationship. Now, there's a big difference. There is a big difference between the government saying we have evidence there's marriage fraud, and the government saying, you know what? There's some evidence there's marriage fraud. There's some evidence that it's a real marriage. We're really not sure. You just were not able to prove this was bona fide. You not being able to prove it was bona fide is different than marriage fraud. So if you get a notice of intent to deny based on marriage fraud, you have to prove to the government that it was a legitimate marriage. I just wasn't able to prove it at the time. I still can't prove it, but I have enough evidence to suggest that this is something other than marriage fraud. And that's what you need to do. Now, I have no idea what they're... I don't want you to talk about... I don't want you to talk about allegations of marriage fraud to everybody because that would be pretty stupid. Because right now, we don't have an attorney-client relationship. Your relationship is with me and Tamika and Cordella and everybody else, Lisa Bling, and everybody else in the Brad squad. So there's no attorney-client privilege right now. So you can't say he
submitted all the evidence.
You are arguing with the wrong guy. You are arguing with the wrong guy. I just told you. You can tell me from here to the end of the world. I submitted this. We don't have an attorney-client privilege, and when the U.S. government is alleging marriage fraud, you shut the hell up. And you wait and have a private one-on-one consultation with an attorney. And it's very well possible, I'm not doubting you, that your first marriage was real. I'm not doubting it at this moment. What I'm saying is you be quiet about it. You have a one-on-one consultation with an attorney, and you figure out what evidence you have to suggest otherwise, and let the attorney argue it out for you. But you don't argue it with me on this show right now. There's no attorney-client privilege. Hold on. Let's go to Andrew in Los Angeles. Andrew.
Hi, Brad.
How are you doing?
Good, Brad.
I have a question. I came into the U.S. in 2017.
Yes.
And I got married in 2018. We had a bona fide marriage. Everything was going on well until I started noticing cheating, which turned into physical abuse, which turned into mental and heavy psychological abuse.
So you filed it. You filed a VAWA case. You filed a VAWA case.
On one of those times, I overreacted, and then I got arrested. The arrest was for domestic violence and for vandalism, but I was only charged with vandalism, which got dismissed eventually. Okay. So we went for an interview, and during the interview, she fell sick. We couldn't continue. Afterwards, they invited us for a second case, but we couldn't go because I eventually filed.
I'm lost now. You
Okay.
filed a VAWA case, but you had a problem because your ex-wife or your current wife triggered you, and you got arrested for domestic violence too.
No, I didn't file. No, when I filed, when I got arrested, the case,
what are you filing right now for a green card? Because I'm lost on your case.
Right. Okay, right now I filed for a VAWA case.
Okay, so who's falling asleep at an interview?
Okay, we went for an interview.
Who's we? Who's we?
Myself, and my wife. That was before I filed for a VAWA case.
Okay, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at that point what happened with you and your wife at interviews. Okay, you filed a VAWA case now. All right. Did the second interview? Did your wife show up? Well, let me ask you this question: second interview, did your wife show up?
No, I didn't even go for it.
Okay, fine. So you went to. All right, so let me understand. Let me just cut to the chase. You filed an adjustment. You and your wife show up to an interview. She falls asleep or whatever happens, some craziness, and they reschedule it, and then you never showed up again. And since then, you filed for a VAWA case. But your ex-wife or your current wife, whoever she may be to you at this point, triggered you, and you got arrested for domestic violence too, which got dismissed. That's basically it. Right?
No. But before we went for the interview, that was last year, 2019. She triggered me. We both got arrested for domestic violence, and I was also arrested for vandalism. But the case was dismissed. Where then eventually we went for an interview, which she fell sick during the interview. They invited for a second date, but before the second date, I found her with another man on our bed. I filed for a VAWA case. And then the VAWA case is going well. I got a receipt, I got a prima facie, and I got my work permit within 3 months. But I want to find out if that arrest would play any part in my VAWA being approved.
I repeated your story that you have now repeated to me again. The only thing you added was that you caught your wife in bed with another man. That's the only thing that I didn't repeat from the time before. Exactly what I just said, but I listened to it a second time with everybody else. And the answer is, if you're even arrested for domestic violence, it could affect your good moral character. Now, the fact that the case got dismissed, the fact that the case got dismissed is good, but you have to prove good moral character when you file a VAWA case. So there's 3 things. You got to prove it was a bona fide marriage, you got to prove good moral character, and you got to prove the abuse. So I don't know what you got to prove good moral character, but that is a strike against you for moral character. You need to now, if you like, one of those, scales of justice, and you say, okay, arrest for domestic violence, case dismissed, still moral character issue. All right, so now you don't have good moral character, and the scale's kind of looking like this. What are we going to put in the other bucket to make it go like this? What do you do that's good? That's a good thing. So I don't know off the top of my head, and it took you 4 minutes to explain something that I explained back to you, that you explained to me, that you explained back and forth 5 times. This needs a consultation, because if you're going to tell me about your good moral character, we'll be here till midnight. Hold on 1 second. Let's go to Paulette in Jamaica. Paulette.
Hello.
How you doing?
Brad. Good afternoon, Brad.
Good afternoon.
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
I'm good, thank you.
Good afternoon.
I have a question to ask.
Good.
Hello.
I hear you,
Good
Paulette.
Afternoon.
Paulette, I hear
question.
You. Okay.
The public charge rule has been blocked. So does people who go into the embassy now still have to fill out the DS-5540 form?
Yes. Because the Trump administration hasn't said what they're going to do about it yet, and they're likely to appeal. The answer is yes. The answer is yes. You still have to do it at this moment. The answer is yes. Sorry.
All right. Thank you, Brad.
Okay. Let's go to Erica in Montego Bay, Jamaica. Erica.
Hi, Brad.
How you doing?
Not bad. Okay, my question for you is that I'm an F4 category.
Uh-huh.
And I'm an F4 category.
Uh-huh.
Hello?
I hear you.
I said we're F4 category.
I still hear you.
And NVC has our application, and it was approved. We got an email on December 19th. Now, I have a daughter who is now 22. I just want to know if she's still safe. And that
Did the NVC ask you to pay a fee for your daughter?
No, we already pay and get the application and everything.
You paid for your daughter already?
Yes, we pay for her.
Then
we
as,
get
as long as you paid for her, she's safe. They gave you a fee bill, then she's safe.
As long as we pay for the fee, like with everyone?
Yes, as long as you did with everybody else, she should be safe. They accepted the fee.
Oh.
All right, because they wouldn't have sent you a fee bill if she wasn't under the Child Status Protection Act. Sometimes they make a mistake, though. Okay?
Okay. So now she's 22, and now because of the thing that happening until won't happen.
No, there's a Child Status Protection Act
until December 31st.
There's a Child Status Protection Act, and the Child Status Protection Act says that if you pay your fee bills before you're 21, you're under 21 for life on this case.
Oh, that's clear enough.
Okay.
Thanks much.
You're very welcome. All right. What do we got here? In this Braducation, I answer the question, if my green card has been revoked for any reason, will I have trouble getting a visitor's visa? If your green card was revoked, it was revoked because you've done something bad, not something good. So my guess would be that you would have trouble getting any type of visa, and before you go to the U.S. Embassy for any reason, you should go and speak to an attorney first. Why? That was so fast. I didn't even get a chance to fill my cup up again. So, in today's Spar Bernstein Close-Up, immigration attorney Shannon Laguerre-Maingrette tells us about some of the most common questions she's asked by clients. Let's.
Some of the common questions I get from clients are, why is it taking so long for my case? And so, unfortunately, we're in an administration where things are basically being, I feel, somewhat intentionally delayed. It's much longer to get your work permit. Before, it used to be within 3 months you would get your work permit, and now it's actually 9 months. And so a lot of people will basically say to me, it doesn't make sense why it's taking so long. I know someone else and it was much quicker for them. A lot of times it's because of the fact that there's been delays on all these cases. But also the other issue is that every case is different. So your friend may have gotten either their work permit or their green card in a particular time, and it may be just a different case overall. You may think it's the same case, but it's not. And so those are some of the common questions why it's taking so long for particular cases.
All righty. By the way, if you didn't get a chance to get your question answered, we are going to be checking out social media in about 45 seconds or so. But you could also follow me at Real Brad Bernstein. If you follow me at Real Brad Bernstein, you can always drop me a DM. I'll be happy to answer your question as best as I can. You could also follow us at Brad Show Live. Follow us at Brad Show Live. The best munchable, is that the word we're using now, Jilly? Munchable? Snackable. Nobody uses munchable. The best snackable videos from Brad Show Live. And Yo-Yo and Vanessa, what do we got for you guys?
You guys can follow me at Yonathan Elias TV. I didn't hear her.
Me neither. You have to unmute, Vanessa. Vanessa has to unmute.
And you can follow her at Vanessa.Contreras TV.
All right, let's do something we like to call social media check-in.
Okay, Christopher Boyd on Facebook asks, how long does it take to get a social security number once you become a citizen?
You should have had a social security number before you're a citizen, but you can go apply. It takes a week or two, I guess.
Okay, I have here, Peter asks, if my wife filed the I-130 for me and her annual income, we answered this, I think you were on the phone with him, 32,000, and we have no kids or dependents, will I still be considered a public?
No, I answered this at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, I thought so. So next one comes from Sunday on YouTube. If I went for my I-485 interview in July 2019 and still have yet to receive a decision, what can I do?
What was in July 2019?
I went for my I-485 interview.
Well, it sounds like you're gonna get, if you haven't gotten a decision on your I-45 and it's been a year, most likely, although you can never guarantee, but most likely you're getting a Stokes interview, and you got to wait and prepare for it.
Okay, Davis Campos on YouTube asked, is it true a federal judge blocked Trump's public charge rule?
Yes, it's what it says here on my card. It says, yesterday, a federal judge blocked the Trump administration from moving forward with plans to deny green cards or permanent citizenship to immigrants who have received Medicaid, food stamps, or housing vouchers. We talked about it for 15 minutes at the top of our show, but we said that Trump's probably going to appeal, so you still have to do the 944.
Okay.
Stargirl Mika asks, after my mother gets her green card, can she go back to Jamaica to marry my stepfather and then apply for him to come here to the U.S.?
Absolutely.
Okay. I don't know if we're on the same document, Ness-quick. Just want you to know.
I agree.
Yes, okay. So Kelvin asked, will immigration accept screenshots of video chats as a form of photo evidence?
Sure.
Okay, Flawless Mama on Facebook asked, will USCIS still accept my application if I don't have my original birth certificate?
What happened? No, you need an original birth certificate. I don't know what application it is, but original birth certificates are generally what you need.
That was my mistake, Yo-Yo.
Yes.
I'm here now.
Yes.
Cool.
But go ahead with the next one because my computer today is just not cooperating.
No problem.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. Aaron Prasad on YouTube asked, if I filed my I-751 jointly but have since gotten divorced, can I still get my 10-year green card?
Yes, you file a waiver of the joint petition. You just have to show divorce and that it was a real marriage.
Okay, Najla on YouTube asked, my dad and I will be U.S. citizens in 2021. If my sister is a widow who lives overseas and has 3 kids, what's the fastest way we can get her here after we become citizens?
For the kids, who's a widow? Who's a widow?
My sister is a widow who lives overseas with 3 kids, so the fastest way to get them there.
What family do they have here?
So the dad and Najla will become U.S. citizens by 2021.
Dad should be filing right now as a permanent resident for an unmarried daughter.
Okay.
Okay. I'm good for real this time. Jackna
Cool.
on YouTube asked, is it possible to apply for an adjustment of status while my asylum case is pending?
Yes, but you got to withdraw the asylum.
El Haj asked, if I'm a dreamer but never applied because I had a marriage-based case which my wife has since withdrawn, now can I apply for DACA?
Yes. If you were if you were a dreamer before, Trump just changed the rules. They're not accepting it in new cases at this moment, but who knows? There'll probably be another lawsuit.
He was a dreamer before.
Yeah, so as long as he had it before, he can do it.
Red Froggle on YouTube asked, can I apply for citizenship after 3 years of having a green card through marriage?
As long as it's still in a bona fide marriage, yes.
Starboy 2020 on Facebook asks, my dad is a permanent resident and petitioned for my sister who's in Jamaica. In February 2020, this happened. If the visa bulletin status now says current, what does this mean for her case?
It means that she's eligible for a green card if the I-130 is approved.
Ibasola Oki on YouTube asks, if I filed for the I-130 and I-485 in March 2020, but didn't include the I-131 advanced parole, can I apply for that separately?
Yes, you can.
Inspirational Expert on YouTube asks, if my special immigrant juvenile case was denied in New York in February 2019, and I filed an appeal immediately, how much longer will it take until a decision is made?
I don't know what the appeal was based on. If it was because you were between 18 and 21 when it was done, immigration's supposed to be accepting those cases and completing them immediately. So hopefully that's the reason why you're doing the appeal.
Marge Higgs on Facebook asks, if my friend's son is in the military and he filed for VAWA, is there any way the son can file for his father?
Why? What? How did the son get a green card?
The son is in the military, she says.
What does that have to do with VAWA then?
Not sure. And he filed for VAWA. If my son's in the military and he filed for VAWA.
Well, if the son's a U.S. citizen, he could file for his parent. That's all I can tell you. Okay?
Okay, Joan Grant on Facebook asks, can a grandchild who is a U.S. citizen petition for a grandparent?
No.
I am Melanie on YouTube says, if I'm filing the I-148 and the I-1360 simultaneously, what should I put down as my main address?
Where you live. What color is George Washington's white horse? White.
Black.
Exactly. What should I put down as my main address? Your main address. Okay.
Annabelle King on Facebook asks, in October, I'll have been married to my wife for 2 years. We're awaiting our interview, but I'm unhappy in the marriage. Can I leave my spouse and still get a green card?
There's no unhappy visa. Remember I said that a little earlier. There's abuse visa. There's I love you visa, or you get divorced and find somebody else.
Dalapo Olieri on Facebook asks, does USCIS check my social media accounts when I'm applying for a green card?
They certainly do.
Tash Nembard asks, if I'm applying for my N-600 and I need evidence to prove legitimacy through my father, what type of evidence can I use?
The legitimacy is a legal term. It is not an evidence term. It's a legal argument. So mostly around in the United States and many countries, I don't want to say every country, the distinction between legitimacy and non-legitimate children doesn't exist anymore. So I don't know what you're trying to prove for an N-600, but that's basically a law thing, not a document thing. So I need to know exactly what your issue is.
Mame Ya on Facebook asks, how can I renew my green card?
An I-90 form if it's a 10-year card, a I-751 if it's a 2-year card.
Monica Laws on Facebook asks, if my friend got married to a veteran and he's on government benefits and food stamps, can he still file for her?
Yeah, but it's gonna be a big problem based on the current Trump laws, unless this judge's decision is followed by Trump. We'll see what happens.
Catherine on Facebook asks, once I am in the U.S., how much time do I have to apply for asylum before my window closes?
1 year.
29 Super C on YouTube asks, has there been a lawsuit or injunction filed against Trump's temporary immigration ban that began on June 24th of 2020?
There has been, but I haven't heard what happened with it. We're going to take 2 more.
Okie doke. So the next one comes from Michael James on YouTube. My green card interview was supposed to be this past April, but was canceled due to COVID. I have since received a letter saying my case was scheduled for an interview. Does it mean I have a new interview date?
Most likely, you just haven't been told what it is yet.
Okay, our last question of the day comes from Miss Sunshine on YouTube saying, as a citizen, what forms of public benefits can I receive?
Everything. Everything. A to Z, Z to A. Everything.
All
now, Yonathan recently spoke with Spar and Bernstein personal injury attorney David Levy about a fantastic settlement the team here was able to get for a client who had been turned away by another attorney and left stranded with thousands of dollars in medical bills. Let's watch.
Squad, this is Yonathan Elias, and I'm here with Spar and Bernstein personal injury attorney David Levy. David is here to tell us about a case in which he was able to get his clients an incredible settlement for their son's injury after another attorney had turned them away, which is wild. That is sad. David, how you doing?
I'm doing good. We're hanging in there, you know. We're working up for our clients.
That's what's up. And how are you doing throughout this whole pandemic?
We're adapting to the new abnormal, I like to call it. But we keep plowing ahead for our clients, getting results, whether it's digital or not. We're here for our clients.
Amazing. Okay, so let's get into the case. What were the facts in this case?
So it's actually a very, very interesting case from my perspective. We have a 16-year-old on his way to school in the morning. While he's crossing the street, a truck making a turn knocks him down. So the truck stays at the scene. The individual comes out, asks him if he's okay. He says he has a couple of elbow abrasions. It doesn't look like it's anything too serious. The police come. They make a report. The family hires an attorney to represent the son's interests. It was a family attorney of theirs. And the kid starts doing physical therapy, minor neck and back pain, or so the attorney heard. As time goes on from the accident, the boy starts experiencing groin pain around the lower abdomen area. And because it's so low in his abdomen by his groin, he felt very shy or embarrassed to tell his parents about it. So he tried hiding it from his parents, and he kept it a secret. Finally, about 2 months passed by, and he was diagnosed with an inguinal hernia.
What exactly is an inguinal?
An inguinal hernia occurs when the tissue, such as the soft tissue part, such as the lower intestine, breaks through, it protrudes out. So it actually sticks out of your skin. It forms like a lump in the abdominal muscles, and a bulge results. And it can be very, very painful. Now, in this case, it was extremely painful for him, but because he was embarrassed to show his privates basically to parents, he tried keeping it in to the point where he can no longer sit, he couldn't stand, and 2 months later, they had to take him to the hospital.
So did he have to have surgery?
He had to have emergency surgery to repair the hernia, and he was in and out of the operation about 8 hours, but nevertheless, he's going to have a scar there for the rest of his life. And the thing with hernias is once you have one, there's an elevated risk that you might have them again in the future.
So what happened with their case and the insurance company?
So the attorney handling the case did whatever he did. He gathered his medical records, started negotiating with the insurance company, and the insurance company actually denied the claim. The allegation was by the insurance company and by the doctors that the insurance company hires was that this was a genetic condition that he was born with. And it had nothing to do with the trauma associated with the accident, or so they claim. So what did the attorney do? He sent them a cut letter, which is basically informing the clients, you have no case, I can't help you any further, and you are out of luck.
So that means obviously no compensation.
Zero compensation. And not only did they have zero compensation, but they were left with a mountain of medical bills. From what I remember, it was approximately $40,000 in unpaid medical bills.
And were they able to pay the medical bills?
They did not have the money to do so. So about 2 years passed until finally they reached out to me, to our team here, and I reviewed the medical records. I reviewed the file in its entirety. And what we did was, at the time, he was an 18-year-old adult, and he had one pediatric doctor his entire life. So his entire medical file was with this one doctor. Now, if what the insurance company is claiming is true, that he was born with this, well, then there's a very high likelihood that the doctor treating this individual from his birth would have picked something up, and it would have been in his medical records. So we gathered the entire file. We hired our own independent expert to review it, and there was absolutely no evidence, despite all the physicals that he had to go through. There's no alternative here. aside from the fact that this injury, that this resulting surgery and whatever resulting residuals from this accident were induced by this accident and were traumatically caused. Once we put together all our paperwork and our files, we were then able to send our opinion and our medical experts' opinions to the insurance company. And after 2 to 3 years, they were actually able to reverse their decision and pay out our clients enough money to satisfy all their medical bills and to walk away with a nice settlement that they were happy with.
Amazing. So what are the lessons learned from this case?
Get a good attorney. The attorney that you hire matters. A lot of times, people hire somebody recommended them by a friend or make sure that whoever is handling your case values your case, is giving your case time and attention. There's a lot of people out there who they go through the motions and they don't really give your case the amount of care and attention that it needs. And in this case, they were stranded with thousands of dollars of medical bills, and the attorney didn't seem to care. He just took the word and advice of the opposing counsel without using his own brains, using his own resources, devoting the time and attention needed in order to push through a claim like this. Second lesson I'd say is this is a classic case that you always have to complain of all of your injuries and don't hide anything. Now, in this case, it's a set of unique circumstances where the boy was a little bit embarrassed, but in many cases, people get involved in an accident and there's no broken bones. They're not going to die, fortunately, but they feel okay, they feel invincible, and they go home. They don't make a complaint, they don't go to the doctor, and guess what? The insurance company then uses that delay against them. So 2-3 weeks down the line, all of a sudden, these people now start experiencing shoulder pain, knee pain, different kinds of aches and symptoms that they didn't feel right away. And that's the nature of the accidents where, you don't feel it right away. What I'd say is complain right away, because insurance companies are not in the business of giving you the benefit of the doubt. They're not working for you, and they will use anything against you. So it's always great to document your claims right away, make all your complaints immediately, so that if and when your symptoms do get worse down the line, you're not going to have an insurance company saying, well, this has nothing to do with the accident.
Amazing. I know that must have felt good. I'm sure they were very happy and appreciative.
Yes, it always feels good when we get to help our clients recover the amount of compensation that they're entitled to.
Yeah. So everybody watching, to get in touch with David or any of the other talented attorneys here at Spar and Bernstein, all you have to do is call 1-800-529-5465. That is 1-800-529-5465 or 1-800-LAW.
All right. So today I'm hoping we don't have any what is it? It's open-ended public policy questions like yesterday that blew my tuchus to kingdom come. All right, so let's hope today's the day I get to walk out of here scar-free. All right, let's put 50 seconds on the clock. 9 questions. Everybody knows the rules. Complete silence, and hopefully we do it. You ready?
Complete silence and focus.
Focus. All right, let's go.
Is a green card the same thing as a permanent resident card?
Yes.
How can I check my green card case status?
USCIS.gov.
What form can I file to bring my foreign spouse here to the U.S.?
I-130.
Can I sponsor a future spouse if I am a citizen but she is still living abroad?
Yes, as long as you marry her.
Can ICE deport me for being undocumented?
You certainly can.
Is unemployment due to COVID a public charge?
No, it's not.
If I have advanced parole, can I still travel internationally right now?
Yes, for short periods up to a month or so.
What is an example of a proof of extreme hardship for a waiver?
Financial hardship.
If I got married 69 days after arriving in the U.S., will that cause a problem with my immigration case?
Yes, misrepresentation, but you can overcome it with with your testimony. All right.
With 2 seconds to spare.
But they did it. We did it.
We did it.
I don't know
See,
why.
I don't know why.
We did it. So therefore, la 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 la. All right. Comments of the day.
Not even the weekend yet.
It's not even the weekend yet. Comments of the day.
The boys are having too much fun.
Too much fun.
Too much fun has to say.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got?
All right, guys. You already know. Poetry Thursday. Poetry Thursdays from Jeremy Goldberg saying it's almost the end of July, and I'm not going to lie, Brad Bernstein is my guy.
All right, it's Poetry Thursday. I didn't see his poetry. Was he late with the poetry? I did not see it in the comments.
It made it to comment of the day.
It made it to comment of the day, though. Okay.
We left the best for the end.
All right.
Our next comment of the day comes from Monica Stone, and she says, Brad, I have a friend that took someone else's car at 8 a.m. and did not realize until after 5 p.m. both cars were the same.
I guess it happens. I guess it happens.
I guess it does.
Yes.
All right, guys. Our last comment of the day comes from Elizabeth Francis saying, Uncle Brad is the best immigration lawyer. Please make your consultation to get the best advice.
There you go. There you go. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Great job, Yo-Yo and Vanessa, the whole crew behind me. Great job. Thank you all, and we will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465.